Hi. So now let us understand, once we have clarity what market quadrant is, the next thing is how are you gonna capture? That is where you need funds. That is what is called as media and advertising funds. You need to budget your media plans, which will always be kept on maximization of reach and minimization of the cost. That is, you need to ensure that every single NP that you spend on your media and advertising budgets lead you to desired outcomes. Otherwise, this entire money will be lost. So, media and advertising budgets play a very vital role. Let us understand it in terms of implementing one particular thought process. So, you have decided that you are going to start a manufacturing unit of t-shirts or the sweatshirts. Now, based on the market quadrant, you would have decided that there is a huge amount of unorganized segment where I can tap in. Now, how would you reach the unorganized segment? It would be a vast when it comes to a country which is much bigger in size. So, what happens here is you slowly start to tend drawing what your media and advertising plans are. So, which media you will be using in, which media will be requiring what kind of budgets, whether it is going to be a digital media, whether it is going to be a BTL activity or the below the line or above the line or innovative medias or ambient media. Let us assume that you are trying to import a particular fruit and energy drink, which is very well known outside. Now, when it comes down to here, you cannot sell that in a regular retailer shop. You will be taking in certain things like niche high-end restaurants, clubs wherein the people who have enough purchasing power to consume that costly drink are available to you. So, to reach out to them is where you accordingly start drawing up your media and advertising plans. So, how are you going to create the awareness component? Hoardings can be a good part. Like for example, you would have seen a lot of buses which run from your city to airport will have the lot of innovative things that brands have already been using it, like the belts that you hold on to when you are in a bus reaching out to airport. So many things can be brought across. The end goal of all this component is how are we going to reach to the end mile customer to give him the clarity that there is such and such product or a service and bring him on board. Now, what happens when it comes to technology components? So basic media that is preferred out for reaching out to technology is using of digital media, because everyone these days are glued to either mobile phones or onto websites. So that is where there has been a huge surge in terms of advertising spends that are happening on digital media when compared to the regular traditional forms of media. But whereas if you're trying to give out some innovative ad which needs to have a physical feel and presence, then print is the only option. Now, what happens in this process is you start deciding which media is going to bring in what kind of a customer and what kind of budgets need to be given to those kind of medias. So that is where you need to draw up your media plan. Now, media plan is also followed by how the scheduling is going to happen. Why do you need scheduling? Because it can't be just that today you advertise, announce and next day it becomes a lull scene. No, it is not going to be that way. You have to keep certain continuity that needs to be brought in. Why do you need continuity? Because it is going to create a recall for the customer. But at the same time, you should also keep in mind that the frequency does not go too much, that the same customer has been exposed to the ad more than 3 to 4 times, because again it is going to be spillage. So that is what we call it as ad spillage, or ad consuming more amount of funds and not being able to deliver the required results, because the same person has been informed more than 3 to 4 times. Like you would have switched on a television, you would have seen an ad of a company or a service, and the same thing gets followed on when you go out of your house to a point of sale or to the paper or to digital media, or you also have retargeting ads. So all these things need to be planned out, because these budgets once spent are not gonna come back, but they need to bring certain things. So that is where your media strategy comes into existence, or your advertising strategy, wherein you start either is it the penetration of the market, or is it the brand recall, or is it the brand awareness, or just creating awareness. what all you are trying to do across. So every component is followed by the funds. That is why a feasibility plan is more required than compared to a business plan, because business plan is just the thought process. You might say, if I get X amount of money, I can bombard the ads and I'll have customers lying down to my store. No, it is not going to happen, because many such cases have been there wherein they spent huge but they haven't got anything coming back to them. So you have to understand what is it that you are going to do towards the launch. Are you going to maintain what kind of spikes, and what is it that you are going to spend on continuity? So all these components is what comes into your media and advertising strategy. Strategy is what everyone talks about, but we need to understand every strategy comes at a cost. Now the cost is something which either someone has to bear it, either it is to be borne by the revenue that comes in, or is it the bearing that has to happen from the burn. So someone has to take care of it. So that is where media and advertising strategy becomes crucial when you are into a startup or an idea validation that is happening in. Because in an existing company, media and advertising strategy is very essentially required, because you continuously need to meet out your customers and keep them aware that yes, you are available. Otherwise, what is today becomes a past within 4 hours of time, and public memory is very short. So you always need to ensure that your customers are in and around, and you are continuously taking care of your existence being shown to them. So that is how the media and advertising strategy is built in, keeping in mind the funds that are available. Hope you have got it. Thank you.